Welcome, welcome, weary traveler. As you see, the storm outside has gotten pretty bad. It's kind of ruined our opening day, but it's nice to see someone out there willing to travel in to get a drink. But it's not just drinks we offer here at the Bloods on Ice, no. No. From time to time, for my patrons, I like to regale them a tale. Sometimes it'll be classic literature, sometimes it'll be horror so extreme that not even a trigger warning will do. But tonight you're my first patron, weary traveler. And that makes tonight very special. So tonight, I think I'll bust out my collection from the great poet Edgar Allan Poe, if that seems alright with you. So, dear traveler, sit down, have a drink. The blood's on us. And coming up is a story to die for. The Raven by Edgar Allan Poe. Once upon a midnight dreary, while I pondered weak and weary over many a quaint and curious volumes of forgotten lore, while I nodded nearly napping, suddenly there came a tapping, as of someone gently rapping at my chamber door. "'Tis some visitor," I muttered, tapping at my chamber door, "only this and nothing more." Ah, distinctly I remember, it was in the bleak December, and each separate dying ember wrought its ghosts upon the floor. Eagerly I wished the morrow, vainly I sought to borrow from my books surcease of sorrow, sorrow for the lost Lenore, for the rare and radiant maiden whom the angels named Lenore, nameless here forevermore. And the silken, sad, and certain rustling from each purple curtain thrilled me, filled me with fantastic terror never felt before, so that now, to still the beating of my heart, I stood repeating, "'Tis some visitor entreating entrance at my chamber door." Some late visitor entreating entrance at my chamber door. This it is, and nothing more. Presently my soul grew stronger, hesitating then no longer. "Sir, or madam, truly your forgiveness I implore, but the fact is I was napping, and so gently you came rapping, and so faintly you came tapping at my chamber door, that I scarce was sure I heard you. Here I opened wide the door, darkness there and nothing more. Deep into the darkness peering, long I stood there, wandering, fearing, doubting, dreaming dreams no mortal ever dared to dream before, but the silence was unbroken, and the darkness gave no token, and the only word there spoken was the whispered word, Lenore. This I whispered, and an echo murmured back the word, Lenore, merely this and nothing more. Back into the chamber turning, all my soul within me burning, soon again I heard a tapping somewhat louder than before. "Surely," I said, "surely that is something at my window lattice. Let me see then what the threat is, and this mystery explore. Let my heart be still a moment, this mystery explore. 'Tis the wind and nothing more." Open here I flung the shutter, when with many a flirt and flutter, in there stepped a stately raven of the saintly days of yore. Not the least obeisance made he, not a minute stopped or stayed he, but men of lord or lady perched above my chamber door, perched upon a bust of Pallas, just above my chamber door, perched and said and nothing more. Then this ebony bird beguiling my said fancy into smiling, by the grave and stern decorum of the countenance it wore. "Though thy crest be shorn and shaven, thou," I said, "art sure no craven, ghastly and grim, ancient raven, wandering from the nightly shore. Tell me what thy lordly name is on the nightly Plutonian shore." Quoth the raven, "Nevermore." Much I marveled, this ungainly fowl, to hear discourse so painfully, though its answered little meaning, little relevancy it bore. For we cannot help agreeing that no living human being ever yet blessed with seeing bird above his chamber door. Bird or beast upon the sculpture bust above his chamber door was such a name as nevermore. But the raven sitting lonely on the plastic bust spoke only that one word, as if his soul in that one word did he outpour, nothing further than he uttered, not a feather than he fluttered, till I scarcely more than muttered, other friends have flown before, on the morrow he will leave me, as my hopes have flown before. Then this bird said, nevermore. Startled at the stillness broken by reply, so aptly spoken, doubtless, I said, what it utters is its only stock and store, caught from some unhappy master, whom unmercifully disaster followed fast and followed faster, till his songs one burden bore, the dredges of his hope that melancholy burden bore, of never, nevermore. But the raven still beguiling my sad fancy into smiling straight, I wheeled a cushioned seat in front of bird and bust and door. Then upon the velvet sinking, I betook myself to linking fancy into fancy, thinking what this ominous bird of yore, what this grim, ungainly, ghastly, gaunt, and ominous bird of yore meant in croaking nevermore. This I sat, engaged in guessing, but no syllable expressing to the fowl whose fiery eyes now burned into my bosom's core. This and more I sat, dividing my head at ease, reclining on cushion's velvet lining, that the lamp light gloated o'er, but whose velvet violet lining with the lamp's light gloating o'er, she so press, nevermore. Then methought the air grew denser, perfume from an unseen censer swung by. Seraphim, whose footfalls tinkled on the troughed floor, wretched, I cried, thy God hath lent thee, by these angels he has sent thee, respite, and nepenthe from memories of Lenore. Quoth, oh, quaff this kind nepenthe, and forget the lost Lenore. Quoth the raven, nevermore. Prophet, I said, thing of evil, prophet still, if bird or devil, whether tempter sent or whether tempest tossed thee here ashore, desolate yet undaunted on this desert land, enchanted on this home by horror haunted, tell me truly, I implore, is there balm in Gilead? Tell me, I implore. Quoth the raven, nevermore. Prophet, said I, thing of evil, prophet still, if bird or devil, by that heaven bends above us, by that God we both adore, tell this soul with sorrow laden, if within thy distant Aden it shall clasp a sainted maiden, whom the angels named Lenore, clasp a rare and radiant maiden, whom the angels named Lenore. Quoth the raven, nevermore. Be that word our sign of parting, bird or fiend, I shrieked upstarting. Get thee back into the tempest and the not Plutonian shore. Leave no black plume as a token of that lie thy soul hath spoken. Leave my loneliness unbroken. Quit the bust above my door. Take thy beak from out my heart, and take thy form from off my door. Quoth the raven, nevermore. And the raven, never fleeting, is still sitting on the pallid bust of Pallas, just above my chamber door, and his eyes have all seeming of a demon that is dreaming, and the lamplight o'er him streaming throws his shadow on the floor, and my soul from out the shadow that lies floating on the floor shall be lifted nevermore. And that was The Raven by Edgar Allan Poe. A titillating story, wouldn't you agree? A great one to start off with, weary traveler. But that's all that I have for now. I hope to see you back in here, and I hope you enjoyed. I'll always have more tale, and I'll always have more drink. And remember, welcome to the Bloods on Us, where the talk is hot, and the blood's on us. I'll catch you next time. See you later, weary traveler.